Hey everyone, I am back with another Design With Me video, and today I'm going to transform our Nyx Squarespace template into a summery beach club inspired design. I'm thinking like yellow, blue, very summery vibes, even though we're going straight into fall right now. It's actually going into summer for me, so I'm inspired to do a bit of a summer design, and I'm just gonna take you guys along as I go. Okay, so this is the original Nyx template. As you can see, it's very minimal, very muted colors. It's quite modern feeling, and I want to transform it into something like really warm and inviting with, yeah, like I said, lots of yellow. I think yellow is like a really nice summery color right now, and maybe like a bright blue. I'm thinking I'm going to transform it for a beach club. This is a very adaptable template, and it's like a real blank canvas of a template. So it's always fun to sort of like push the templates and see what else we can put in them. So I'm currently just mood boarding. I'm on Pinterest, grabbing some things. I typed in sardine summer because I heard on the radio that's what people were calling this aesthetic. But I'm just getting a lot of like, it's definitely an aesthetic, but I'm getting a lot of images of sardines. And while it is very cute and it's like close to the aesthetic that I'm going for, it's just too much sardine. So I'm gonna maybe just like type in beach club. Okay, this is more of what I'm going for. So I'm gonna just copy some of these images. I'm obviously not gonna use them in my design at all. You can't use Pinterest images, but I'm just like pasting in my inspiration for this design. This is very cute. So this is sort of the colors I'm going to go for, like this butter yellow, and then that feel of the ocean. I'm also seeing a lot of like vertical stripes, which I think is very much the vibe that I'm going for and something that we'll try to incorporate. Over in Canva here, I also just like stumbled across all of these different, I think they're all social media templates, to be honest. I'm not sure if they're from the same person or someone else, but they definitely also capture the sort of feel I'm going for. The colors, the fonts, like some of the fonts are what I want to hit. I'm kind of maybe going to go for like this sort of font combination rather than this sort of slab serif. But I think it's all really good here for inspiration. It's given me like a really good design reference for what I want to do. And I'm also really liking this brown too. So maybe I'll incorporate some dark brown, but we'll see. I want to keep it like fairly minimal and classy, but I do like the elements of Polaroids or like little bits of paper. This is really cool, like kind of retro. And then this is a nice, like this style is a little bit more vintage, I guess, and maybe a little bit more formal. So kind of pairing those together, meeting somewhere in the middle. I don't like this aesthetic as much, but I do really like this blue. Okay, so let's gather some actual images and create a bit of a mood board. I'm gonna go to dupe photos because I think they'll definitely have the right sort of beach club vibe that I'm looking for. So I'm gonna start gathering some images here. And these are all royalty-free images. They're all like user generated and supplied. It's an amazing site for more sort of authentic images rather than that sort of put together stock image style. So I do really like this site, and I think this is going to be really good for the aesthetic. So generally when I'm designing a site, I'm just going to start downloading images and filing them away on my computer. But generally when I start designing and I haven't like fully fleshed out the brand yet, I do like to just collect as many images as possible. So I'll just go through and download a bunch of images. Maybe not all of them will actually make it to the website, but that's totally fine. And potentially we might have to come back and get more later. But if you just have a bunch to start with, then it just makes it way easier while you're designing to be able to like throw images in, even if they're just placeholders, but just to get the right vibe, because images make such a huge difference in the design. And your design will not feel good until you have like cohesive images in there, even if they aren't perfect to start. I've gone through and I've found quite a few images and I've put them in this folder. So these are all from dupe actually. And there's quite a good variety here. I don't think I like that one. I don't know how that one snuck in there. There seems to be an endless amount of photos that have this like blue and yellow palette. So I don't think we're going to have any issue finding images that work for the site. So that's really great, because sometimes if you have kind of a really unique aesthetic and you don't have your own images, sometimes it can be hard to find images that Okay, my computer's having a bit of a meltdown, so we'll just work with the images that we've got so far, and we can always come back and get more. So I've put some of those images into this grid, which is kind of like a bit of a mood board. Obviously, we've got this as a design reference mood board as well, which I really like. And I've pulled 3 colors here. I'm just going to keep experimenting with this a little bit though, because I'm not like sold on these colors. And we could potentially add a couple more. Now, the original Nyx template is very minimal with the colors. So it will be easy for us to just like go minimal with colors, but also it doesn't really matter. Like we can put in more if we want to put in more. There's always a bit of room for more color. So potentially like this dark brown, I'm not sure if it will go exactly with the palette that I want to use with like the bright blue. But if we are going to use a dark color, I do think the brown is really nice. And then we could potentially do like a light blue as well to bring in another light color. So maybe something like that. I don't love the blue, but I think like it could potentially be quite nice. I also think like this blue and this brown go really nice together. Like I really like this combination. And if this was like a background color, this would probably like look really nice with this on top of it as text. It would look nice with this on top of it with text too. So I am sort of vibing with this as a complete palette. This might be like a little bit too cold. We could make it potentially a little bit more yellow. We could try that. But yeah, I think we'll work with those and we can edit them as we go. I just wonder as well if we could make this blue, like if this blue is too bright, we could potentially make it like a little bit deeper. I don't know. There's a few options there and I think they all look really nice. So yeah, we'll just put them into the site and we'll see how they lay out. It's always really hard to know, I find, and I've designed so many websites and so many website color palettes. But it is really hard to know until you start applying them to the site how they actually are going to look. And I think that's the same case just with graphics as well. It's really hard to know if your color palette is going to look good with certain graphics or is going to look good or work well within graphics or within your website layout. It's really hard to know until you actually start applying them. And suddenly you might be like, oh, we definitely don't need this color, or we definitely need this like a lighter color to help balance out these darker colors. So it's always good practice to have like a combination of a couple of darks and a couple of lights at least, or at least one dark and one light. But yeah, we'll see. We'll put them in and we'll see how we go. I'm going to stand up right now because I've been sitting down all day. Right. And I'm going to put some music on because I always have to design while I'm listening to music. And it always has to be the right vibe. Okay, I think that's enough to start with for now. Next up, let's think about some fonts because we've got our images, we've got colors, and fonts will be the next thing. So I do want to probably do like a really classic script like this somewhere, but I don't think I want to do that for the main headings. It would be really nice to pair this with something like this really nice serif, or something more like this. This is also really nice too. So I'm going to head over to this Squarespace font directory, which is built by Strong Sites. And it's basically just all of the Squarespace fonts, but put into a more easy to filter format. So I really like this. If you are sifting through Squarespace fonts trying to find something that you like, I recommend checking out this site. Otherwise, of course, you can just go into the fonts in your site styles and you can scroll through them here. But this is just honestly easier to scroll through. So usually what I do is I scroll through and I jot down which ones I like the look of, and then I'll go back into Squarespace and test them. So right now we are in all categories. I'm definitely going to look for a serif, although honestly that's kind of nice and it's not a serif. So I'm going to write down the name of that one. Libretto. Okay, now I'm going to go to serif. I'm pretty sure I want a serif. Well, there it is there. So yeah, just keeping in mind in my head, like something like this. I already have some fonts in mind for what I can use for this script. So I'm really just looking for my main heading font, which would be either this sort of narrow or just this sort of like normal width serif, I guess. Maybe this one, Adonis. So I'm just going to jot some down. I'm definitely not going to go through all the way to Z because it will take me forever. There are literally thousands of fonts here. And because I'm not asking for anything that unusual, like there's so many serifs here, it probably honestly won't be hard for me to find something that will be totally suitable. I could look all day and it could take me forever, but I'm going to try not to do that. And I'm just going to probably gonna end up choosing something that starts with A. I'm already seeing like quite a lot of nice stuff to use. So I'm jotting down some names. I'm on the second page and I already have like 8 written down. So hopefully this is a quick experiment of finding something that I really like. For this video, or this template, I'm really not too worried about it being available in Canva. But if you are designing for yourself, then strong sites like directory is really good because it does tell you if it's available in Canva or not. There's like a available on Canva or not available on Canva. Oh, here it shows you here. So the ones with the ticks next to them. So if you are using Canva for your brand or your graphics, then I would definitely recommend choosing a font that you can get in both, or I should say that is available in both. Okay, I already have way too many. So I only just got slightly through B. So I'm just going to start putting them in the template and we're going to see if the font works. At the moment, we have this written in capital letters and then we have also some lowercase here. So we should be able to look at it in both, which is quite good to always be able to look to see what it looks like in uppercase and lowercase. I haven't decided if we're going to do like all uppercase yet or whatever. So good to just check both of those. Okay, Arboreto, we'll start with that one. This is like an all caps font, I think, so it doesn't give us that many options and it's not quite hitting it for me. So I'm gonna get rid of that one. Adonis, it's kind of cute. Does it have any other weights? Just thicker. It's okay. I'm gonna put an okay next to it. Adrian. It's okay, but I think we can do better than that it's just kind of a basic ref. This is interesting, but it's a little bit too wide and a little bit too harsh. So I don't love it. Alvaretta. This is an interesting font too, but again, it's not really hitting the mark for me. It's a little bit too modern. This is a classic. I actually have never known how to pronounce this, but I have used this font a lot in the past. Ambroise? Ambroche? I don't know. It's okay, but yeah, I don't know. Again, I think we can do better. Amiri. This one's nice. It's pretty classic. I'm just gonna put an okay next to it. Not loving it. AW Conqueror. Okay, this is quite nice. This has got like really fine lines. I don't love the Y though. It's kind of a weird Y, how it goes straight like that. It's like weirdly throwing me off, just that one letter, but the rest of it's quite nice. It's getting an okay. I have no idea how to pronounce this one. This one is like very wide, which is kind of interesting actually. I don't hate that either. I'm gonna put an okay. This one's got too many, it's a bit decorative. These are the things that you can't see until you actually try out the font on your site, I feel. Baskerville, this is a classic serif and it's nice. It's an okay, I would say it's in line with all the other okays. Bennett. There's lots of different variations of this one. Test them all out. No, I don't really like any of those either. Okay, I'm not stoked on any of these, so I'm actually gonna go back. Then I'm gonna continue, scrolling through for a bit. Okay, I've got a few more to try out. Let's see how we go. This one's kind of interesting. It's very big, but it's kind of cool. It almost has like a typewriter effect, but it's got a little bit extra. It's even got 2 different weights, which is quite nice. I'm gonna say that's actually probably my favorite one so far. Bunyan Pro. Yeah, I like this better than all the other ones too. This is also a maybe. They're all going to start to look the same soon though. So this is going to be my last round. I'm just going to choose one from this bunch. No, I don't like that one. It's just like a little bit too busy. No, I don't like Kaluna. I feel like that's just overused. Toe 2 headline. It's okay. No, we can do better. This one's quite interesting too. I really like the lowercase of this one. Okay, so these so far are the finalists. Biz, UDP, Etna, and Bunyan. Lovely names. Let's see how we feel. Okay, I really like Etna in the lowercase. I think that looks like really nice. Do I like it in the uppercase? It's okay. Let's go back to this. I feel like this is its closest competitor, is the Biz UDP Mincho. This is starting to feel a little bit Western. It might be leaning a little bit too far Western. Okay, what about Bunyan? Oops. Okay, these are my 2 finalists. Bunyan and Etna. I think let's go for Etna for now and just like do something a bit different. And I'm just going to keep, actually I'm going to keep like all of these fonts written down in case I really decide to change things up and change my mind. Okay, so that secondary font I was thinking like to replace this script font is something like this. So I have some in the top of my mind already, just because I'm familiar with some fonts. So I'm going to change it over in the miscellaneous area. It's custom coded into, if you just change it in the miscellaneous, it should change everywhere you want it to change. So what I'm going to do is just change it in the miscellaneous area. And okay, I've got 3 fonts in my head that might work for this. Pinion script. Okay. It's quite nice. And then Sloop Script Pro or Sloop Script 1. That's a little bit harder to read. And Compendium. That's a bit hectic. I think probably Pinion is like the most classic and easiest to read there. Still not sure about the main font, but we'll just go with it for now. And I've got this list as backup. So we can easily go in and revert. Let's save that. And then also for the body text, we might as well change this since we're just revamping the template. I think I'll probably go for something like Poppin, which is obviously in use somewhere else on the site already. I feel like this has a nice like summery feeling. I'm just going to make it maybe a little bit smaller. Okay, that could be fun. I'll quickly change the button font to Poppins as well, though I don't fully know what I'm going to do with the buttons yet. They actually might be, you know what, they might be quite nice with a different style. Maybe like a nice mono spaced font. Let me try that. If it doesn't work, I'm just gonna like roll with what we've got here. So I'm just gonna search mono. They honestly all kind of look the same to me. Like I never know what mono is better. And then we could make them like lowercase. I don't know, maybe that's nice. Sort of giving like, it's kind of like a typewriter style font. I'm not sure if that's like, we're probably hitting more like this style rather than this style. But I think that's okay. I think let's just push on and we'll see how we go. I might actually potentially round the buttons too to like soften them a bit and make it a bit less sharp and modern. So let's see. Let's change this shape to maybe rounded outline, something like that. I think I need to adjust the padding on this, give it a bit more left and right. I'm not set on the font, but let's just see how we go. Maybe that one. Okay, let's just go with that for now and start building out the sections, or let's start building out the colors. So we've done our fonts and now let's pop in our colors. So if we come into colors in the site styles, like I said earlier, the original Nyx template is very minimal. So we do have 3 colors technically. I don't even think we use most of them on this homepage though. I think we pretty much only use like this color and white and black. But we do have spaces where we can put, you know, we've got at least 3 spaces here to fill up in our Squarespace Site Styles editor. So let's go down to our color palette that we created. So I think I'm going to keep a white because I think there might be a place for a white background in this template. And then for the lightest, let's go for maybe this light yellow. I'm still not 100% sure if we're going to use light yellow, but put it in and we'll see. And then for the bright color, I think maybe like the bright blue for this middle color. And then for a darker color, hold on. Actually, let's go this yellow for the middle color. And then let's go the blue for the darker color. And then let's actually just go the brown for the darkest color because it's so dark that I think it will work quite well as our darkest. So the only one missing there is the light blue, which we can easily add into our themes. So I might just do that now so we can experiment with it. But if we go back into colors, we can have a look at these themes. I'm really liking the yellow and brown together. I think that looks really nice. So let's change one theme to be our light blue. We can maybe do it light 2 because we have 2 that have the light yellow background. We don't need 2. So let's edit it, grab this dusty light blue color and change our background color and our background color overlay and our inset border. And so that's going to give us a version that has the light blue in the background. So now if we look at our color themes, we're covering all of our colors. And obviously the site is looking a bit crazy right now, but I think I'm seeing the vision. Okay. I think once we replace the photos, tweak the fonts, tweak the colors, I think it's going to come together really nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And the next thing we need to do probably is input our copy. So I worked with ChatGPT on this one. So what I did is I sent ChatGPT the copy guide for Nyx. So when you purchase this template, if you purchase this template, it comes with like an AI copy guide. So you can essentially educate ChatGPT on your business, and we walk you through this whole thing. This is all like templated, and all of the things that you want to include, say, on this homepage. We have this copy and paste guide that you essentially just paste into ChatGPT or whatever AI you're using. And it will kind of fill in the blanks, and it will fill them in perfectly to fit in with the template that you've chosen. So I did that. I fed that into ChatGPT, and it gave me copy back for, in this case, the beach club. So it basically takes like all of the different areas where to add text and then gives you copy based on the information you've provided it about your business, and like gives you the right amount of copy to fit within those places. Or it also gives you different suggestions for things that you could put in those places if you're not sure like how that could be relevant for your business. So in this case, we've got copy here for a beach club, which is really fun. Obviously, I haven't really refined this because it's not a real business. Getting the copy exactly right. Obviously, if this was your copy for your business, it would be a little bit different and you would have to refine it more, but I'm just going to use what it gave us because it was honestly really good. So I'm basically just going to go through and I'm just copying from a different screen, but I'm basically just copy and pasting this stuff in. Okay, all copy has been put in. Okay, I just realized that my video wasn't going, but I'm not going to go back and look and see how much we've missed. So this is where we're at. I don't know when it stopped recording. Hopefully it wasn't too long. But basically I've just been playing around with font sizes and colors, and I have not actually made that much progress. So I'm really just playing around with the header, and I'm playing around with the header color and also the sizing of it. So I'm going back and forth between the sizing of the fonts here in the site styles. I'm going to make this like much smaller like that. And then I'm going to go back into the page and click edit site header, edit design. I'm going to adjust this border. I just want it on the bottom, not around the whole thing. Okay, let's just start. For the first section, I'm not really sure what to do with this. It might be kind of nice to have like a beachy video in the background and probably like a light text, but that bright blue feels like too much. Obviously we need to change this video. So let's just delete this video anyway. I kind of feel like I want to come back to the header because I want to see like where the rest of it goes. And I think like I'm happy with this for the moment. Like we'll add something to the background, whether it's an image, or I kind of have this idea of potentially doing like some sort of like a black and white image with like a light blue text over top, which might be kind of nice. Yeah. But let's see where the rest of this goes. That's sort of what I've got in my head at the moment. For this section, I just put this like as featured in banner across here. And I think like it's okay. I think it would be like way cooler if we could have actual logos in there. So I might try to do that, but that also seems like a little work for a demo site. So for now, this is gonna do. And I'll just keep it brown for now. Or do we go like bright blue? Oh yeah, blue, for sure blue. I also want to experiment with like the vertical stripes that we keep seeing along like in this theme. So you'll notice a lot of these have vertical stripes and I think they look really good. So I might create something in Canva for that. I'm going to create a new design in this folder and I'm going to make it quite wide. So I'll do a custom size and I'm going to make it like 2500 wide, and I'll just make it 2500 high as well, so it's square. And I'll see what we can do with stripes and like what color variations we can use them in. This is like the two yellows. We've got two yellows that we could use. This is a light blue and light blue. So I might do like a few versions of that. Let me copy this palette over and let's do some stripes. Let's quickly make sure that Canva doesn't have anything already set up, so it saves us having to do it. Oh, that's kind of nice with like the texture, but the thing is, it's obviously a bit harder to get it into the colors that we want, but it might be quite nice. We might be able to do something. Let me just do one for now. Maybe we could try it here and do like a blue stripey. I do like these different textured ones. Oh, that one we can change the colors of really easily. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Let's go back to this one that we just had because I quite like this, and we'll make it vertical and we'll make it how big do we want the stripes? We want them to be pretty narrow actually. I wonder if we can repeat this. Yep, I think we can repeat that. So I'm going to change the color of this, and I should be able to change the color of this by going to apps. No, edit. Yeah, edit duotone and then custom. Let's see how much we can change the color of this. It's not perfect, obviously. Okay, let's go. Would that look crazy? I don't know if that looks good. Okay, maybe I'm just gonna halt on the stripe. Just go back to what I was doing. Okay, I'm gonna just start putting some images in. I might come back and customize them more, but if we just get the images in, we'll start to feel the vibe of the template, and it will start to feel like it's coming together more. Okay, I think that's cute. I think we could definitely add some like GIFs or something that's moving a little bit, but I think that looks quite nice. Let's play around with the colors of this section. Do we want it to be bright yellow? No, I don't think so. Blue, I'm quite liking just like this soft yellow. I think it looks quite nice. I kind of want to change the button to be like blue maybe. Let's see. So I'll just change the shape of it and then go into colors, go into light 1, and I'll go into primary button background blue. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, I'm just going to keep working down, but so far I am liking it. For this section, I thought actually it might be quite cool to start incorporating some graphics. So I think we could just put images here and it would look really nice and it would look, you know, minimal and sleek. But I do really want to incorporate some like maybe like little bits of paper or little like picture frames that make it feel like a little bit more collagey. I quite like this, like with this bit of tape. So something like that might be quite cool. I'm going to add a new page in Canva and I'm going to go just like 1500 by 1500 and let's see what we can create here. Let's go to elements and go paper. This one's just like a nice square paper frame, which might look quite nice, like just 3 of those. Or we could do, yeah, honestly, that's probably okay. I just don't like how it's got that bit of shadow on it. We could probably get a better piece of paper under graphics. Okay, I've sort of like made my own piece of paper, which kind of is working just by using Canva elements. And I want to get like a more realistic bit of tape, maybe like this one. I do want this to be like a fun design. And obviously I want it to be quite bright because our next template is like very not bright. So very like minimal with the colors, very black and white. So I wanted to do like a bright, fun one. But I also want it to like still have a certain classiness to it. And I think that's what these do really well. There's some fun and like some collagey things, but it still looks, I don't know, really put together and kind of chic. So I'm trying to encapsulate that. I think this particular font is like more playful than maybe what I'm wanting, but we'll keep working with it. And if we have to change it, we have to change it. So let's see how we go with bits of paper. If it doesn't work, then I'll just go back to using regular images. Okay, I'm just going to start putting some images in. Okay, this is what I've made. I don't know if I love it yet. We'll see. I'm just trying to not overthink it. Just trying to think about background color for this section. If we want to continue the yellow or do we want to like go into a blue? I don't think it really matters. I think either way, these will look okay on any of the background color. So I'm just going to go ahead and download all 3 of them and we'll just test out and see what they look like. I'm not sure they're going to look great, but you know, we just got to test these things. Okay, they're all downloaded and I'm just going to upload them into these spots, delete what's in there existing, and I need to just change the design to fit and not fill because obviously we don't want to crop these off. And then I'm going to make them a little bit bigger. That looks quite good. Okay, and then for the text, where do we want to put the text? Maybe I could just put the text underneath. Okay, it's kind of cute. This might be a good section to have like stripes in the background potentially, just to give it a little bit more something something. I'm also not sure about the blue. Could potentially just go back to the yellow or white. I think that's kind of cute. I think like, oh my gosh, there's so many things that we could do with this, but just trying to keep it really nice and simple. I think that looks quite nice. So let's roll with it. Okay, I think let's move back to this header now because I want to try out a few things. Let's have a look through our images. and see what potentially might work. I also grabbed some videos too off Dupe and off Pixels. So there are some cool videos here that we could test out that kind of give like beach club vibe. Maybe let's try like this one. I'm not convinced that a video is gonna look like, if we're gonna have a good video, that is gonna work really well for this, but it's definitely worth trying. And then for the images, what could we potentially use? Maybe even like that one for an image. It's probably not high enough quality. The problem with the photos on Dupe is that they're generally quite low res because they are just like quite casual photos, which is fine for most of the images around your site. But if you're doing like a big full width, it's kind of, you kind of want to have like a good resolution photo. Let's go back to the mood board. I always continue referencing the mood board. That's why I really recommend mood boarding before you design, because it just kind of keeps you on track. But yeah, I was thinking maybe even like something like a black and white version. I think we do have like a photo with a beach. I mean, even that was kind of nice. A beach with people on it, like this. And this one's actually pretty good quality. We could potentially do this and then give it this effect in Canva. I might try something like that. So let me bring this photo into Canva. It's gonna definitely be low res, but if we like lean into that, and we could potentially like even add more noise to it so it feels even like more intentional. This is also really cool. Like if we had a photo like this, I think that would be ideal, but we don't. So we work with what we can. We work with what we've got. Okay, so what I'm thinking about doing to this is editing, adjusting, removing the saturation, so making it black and white, and then maybe sort of reducing the contrast, reducing the brightness, just playing around with it, like giving a bit of a treatment. And I do want to add like noise or like texture to it, so we get that sort of this sort of textury old paper feeling. Let's see what the Canva has if I just do texture. And we might just layer up textures too, like sometimes using multiple textures is the way to go. Maybe if I look for like noise or green. Oh, that one's quite good. It's a bit small. That's quite nice too. It's also probably a bit small. I wonder if we can use it like multiply it. Oh yeah. I don't know. I thought maybe it was a nice idea, but now I'm thinking like it might be a bit dark because we don't really have any like other images at the front. I mean, at the top. Okay. So this is a video. We could potentially play with this video in here as the header. So at the moment it's on overlay. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So I'm going to just delete it for now, go back to images. Let's try this black and white image and we'll see how we go. But my hopes are pretty low. I'm managing my expectations to not like this. I think potentially the font's throwing me. I know I keep saying that. Okay, what do I think? We could do like a brown overlay. I don't know about brown. Blue. I kind of like the bluey. I would probably change this color here to white or the light blue. I think the light blue would be kind of nice. Just might be a bit hard to read. I think next time I do one of these like design with me's, I'm going to need to put a time limit on it, because I feel like a lot of this stuff is okay or definitely good enough, but then I'm just like, oh, but there's so many other options. And then I sit here for like 5 hours playing with different options, which it's probably not a good use of my time. I'm gonna sit down. I like this more than I liked the video, I think. So we'll probably just stick with it for now and come back to it. Okay, I'm gonna play again with these stripes. I'm coming back to the stripes and I think maybe that's okay coloring. Where's our original blue here? It's not quite as rich as I want it to be. So maybe we do like an edit, adjust, just make it a bit deeper, like more like our original blue. Maybe like that. Then I'll just repeat that and I'll repeat it again. And again, I'm going to flip these horizontal so that it should match up perfectly because it's just mirrored. And then I'll grab this one and then that should match up perfectly. Okay, we'll play with that. I'm just going to download it as a JPEG at just sort of average quality. I'm going to go ahead and put this in as the background for this section. I don't love it, but maybe I could just reduce the opacity a little bit so it's more subtle. I think that's kind of cool. Guys, I think I'm gonna have to change this font. I keep talking about it, so let me go back and just change the heading font and see. Maybe I just need to lean into something a little bit more classy and a little bit less playful. So let's see, I've checked my other maybes. Oh yeah, I think I like this one better. But I think it's suiting the vibe. Like, I think it matches with the other font, the combination of the script. And let me see if it's got any other weight. Yeah, definitely at that 300 weight. Yep, I think I'm liking this better. I think this is like, it feels like it's coming together more now with that. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that for now. I think I would like do like some GIFs here, but I'll come back and do those maybe at the end when I'm sure, because they take a little while to do. And then I'm just going to start like this explore the club section. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do here. It's mostly just going to be like a gallery of the club, I think. So I'm basically just going to chuck in some images. Okay, I do want to put like a GIF in here. So I'm going to take one of these videos, put it through like a GIF maker. Ugh, can I even be bothered doing that? Is that worth it? It's going to take me like 15 minutes. And I think I'll just put an image in there. Call it a day. For now. I might change my mind later. Also, we'll have you know, if you are designing a website alongside me, or if you're looking for tips in this, I have not renamed or compressed any of these images, okay? I'm doing this for fun, for an example. So please don't do as I do. Please resize and rename your images before you upload them. Because mine are a mess and they're all quite big, which means the website will load quite slowly, but this is not a real website. This is just like a fun website. So I'm not doing any of that stuff because I just couldn't be bothered today, you know? But yeah, if you're doing it, please. I'm going to add an image effect to this. So it's like maybe sort of like moving as you scroll down. Well, that's kind of fun. That kind of looks like water. Okay. I don't know about colors yet. We're going to come back to colors. But we've got images in, and then I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm just going to start putting images in. I might make this a little bit bigger. This is about the club, so it should kind of have a clubby looking image maybe. I think we've already used that one. Oh well, doesn't really matter. We can repeat photos. I think it would be nice to bring in another black and white, because obviously we start with the black and white, so having some of that like sprinkled throughout might be quite nice. Maybe this one here. I don't know if there's any way to actually make it black and white in Squarespace. I wonder if I could edit it here. Adjust. Oh yeah, I can reduce the saturation and the brightness. It might be nice to have this sort of like texture over it though. That would make it really cohesive. So I would have to do that in Canva. Okay, I hate to say this, but I think I'm not liking this body font now. Now that we've gone for like a little bit more of a vintage feel, that this isn't really working. This is too modern. So I'm gonna experiment quickly with paragraph font. I mean, it's not terrible, but I just feel like we could do something that leans towards a little bit more vintage. I was thinking potentially a serif body font, which I don't usually lean towards. But if the design does call for it, then it calls for it. Okay, do I like this one or do I just like standard Arial? Honestly, I think I'm kind of just liking Arial. It's bringing like a vintage, but modern vintage. Not like really, I don't know. We'll go with that for now. And I think I might capitalize a few things like this here. Make that like that. Yeah, I think that's nice. I really like the inline script with this font. I think the combo is really good. Edit content, design. Okay, just adjusted the spacing here a little bit. I'm going to save this and I'm going to just open up a new window and open it as like a proper preview. I just find it much easier to like preview it outside of the editor like this. I actually really like this intro. I think it's cute, but I wish there was like a bit more movement in the background. There is movement when you scroll, which is really nice. But I just like wish this was a video. That would be like ideal. But then I'd have to like find a video and then put that same treatment on it. So, I mean, it's possible. Let's see what we've got in dupe for beach and let's go to video. I really like this composition. So looking for something similar to this. And I think the people in the beach is quite good because, you know, it's It's supposed to be a beach club, so you're like inviting people. Maybe I could look for a beach club. This is like the closest thing I'm seeing, but it's not quite hitting the mark. It's funny because all of these videos of these beach clubs make them look really, really windy. I don't know if that would be a very enticing video for me. I'd be like, that looks like a windy ass beach. I don't want to sit there in the wind with the sand blowing all over my face. I'll have a quick look on pixels and see, because I think the dupe ones are going to be like probably too low resolution. These are all like a little bit, I don't know. They're just not it. They're just a bit too formal. I found this video, which is kind of cool. I reckon we might be able to make that work. Let's have a quick look. Let's put it into Canva, see what we can do. Let's just duplicate what we've done here. I'm just going to copy that texture, upload this video to Canva, and then we'll put it in this image. So hopefully it's going to be pretty low quality, but I think that's okay. It's kind of like what we're going for. And then I'm going to edit it. I'm going to just leave the speed as regular, I think, or slow it down a little bit. And then I'm going to adjust it. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to reduce the saturation. I'll go full black and white, maybe reduce the contrast a bit, and then I'll put the texture over it. It's kind of cool. Let's just try that. It's probably not like it's not the best video. I feel like I could find something better. Maybe this one. I'll download that one and see how that looks. Here's another one I've tried. I'm just going to edit it a little bit as well. I'm going to download both of those as videos. They're probably going to be massive, but I'll upload them as videos into Squarespace and we'll see what happens. I just think like it's nice once you start scrolling, but before you start scrolling, it'd be nice if there was a bit of movement in there. Yeah, I wish I could just animate this photo because this is ideal. I probably could. I could probably put it into AI and I could probably get some movement on it, but also like I don't really know how to do that yet. So okay, so that's going to take a little while to download from Canva. So let's just push on elsewhere. I kind of still feel like this might be quite nice as yellow. This could potentially be nice with like something in the background as well. I might try again with this blue, but make it more of a light blue color. How do I adjust this? So let's go edit. Let's go duotone. Actually, let's just go adjust and see if we can adjust the colors in here. Bring the saturation back, bring the brightness probably down, and then maybe even just do like a transparency like that. That's probably similar to the color that we're looking for. Pretty spot on. So let's use that. We'll flip those horizontal. I'm going to download that as a JPEG, and I'm going to use just this page, download, and we could try and upload it to this background. It might be a bit much. Also, this is a really long section, so it might end up getting stretched out quite a bit. Actually, it will end up getting stretched out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to resize this page, and I'm going to resize it to 2500 by 5000, which seems massive, but it's a pretty small file. Like it's a pretty small graphic, so it's not really a big deal. I just want it to have the length so that it doesn't get stretched out, because if it gets stretched out on the sides, then the lines are going to get like really thick, which I don't want. So I'm going to download that now as a JPEG. Okay, let's try this out. Don't know about this, but we'll try it. Okay. I actually quite like that. It's super subtle. Maybe something like this. And I'm going to change the colors for this section too. I'm not sure if I like the black on the blue. It's a bit like, or maybe I do like it, but I don't know if I like the black button. So let's try and do the black button. So let's go to colors, light 2, and I think this is just a primary button. So we could do like yellow, bright yellow, bright blue. I think light yellow is quite nice, or bright blue. Let's go light yellow because we've got a blue one just here. And let's do brown for the text. And then potentially heading brown, blue, yellow, light yellow. Oh, do I like the light yellow? It's not as readable, but it's kind of cute. I think I like the brown. Okay, let's go with brown. Don't overthink it. Okay, so surely those videos are done downloading, or did they just stop? I think they might have just stopped. So let's try and do one of them. Download. Right, I'm going to change the fonts for the site header. So I'm going to go into site styles, and I'm going to go to fonts, and I'm going to go to assign styles. For the site title, I think let's go for the script font. I think that looks quite nice for the logo. And then for the links, maybe we could go, so the site navigation, maybe we could go for like the sans, potentially in lowercase with no letter spacing. I kind of maybe like uppercase with spacing, like that. We'll go with that for now. I think that looks better, because I'm also not sold on the button font. Maybe let's go back to the button font. Maybe we'll just do it uppercase. I think that maybe looks a little bit better. Yeah, okay. Our video has downloaded, so let's upload it here. Well, let's just see what it looks like first. It's very low quality, but that's like the vibe that I wanted. So let's upload it, see what happens. Otherwise we'll just stick to what we've done here, because I think this is cute. Okay, the stripes are growing on me here. Okay, let's have a look at this. I do really like the movement, but the video just doesn't look good. It's just an average video. So I think we'll just go back to this. I think this like looks crisp. Okay, I'm just gonna go to this last section and put some photos in here, because this is kind of the only place we haven't replaced photos. So I'm kind of just not too worried about what these ones look like. I'm just gonna put the last bunch in that we haven't used, sort of. I could also put these into Canva and make them like, give them that treatment that we gave the others, like with the paper sort of borders, but I think I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'm giving myself a bit of a time limit, because otherwise I could be here all day. That looks really nice and on brand. Okay, so if I really wanted to spend more time on this and get a bit crazy, I think what I would do, which I'm not gonna do, okay? I'm not gonna do this because I'll be here all day. But I think it would be cute to add like some like scalloped edges. Although I don't know if that's like very beach clubby, but maybe just like a little scalloped edge like on the bottom of the menu here. Oh, that's very tempting. Or like the bottom of, I don't know, the bottom of a section, you know, like the bottom edge of a section. It would be quite cool. Okay, I'm actually really happy with everything, or most everything. I'm gonna create a GIF for here. So I'm gonna go into Canva, add a new, actually this page size is probably perfect. So I'm just gonna grab some more images, and I'm just going to stack images. Cool, I'm just gonna do those 4 images. I think those look pretty good, and I'm gonna download them, or actually I'm going to set Canva to duration mode and just check the duration on them. So at the moment they're 5 seconds each, but I want them to be more like 2 seconds each. And then I'm going to share and download as a GIF, and it will download those 4 just as a GIF, and they're going to rotate every 2 seconds. Okay, I'm going to replace this image here with this GIF, and it is definitely large, and I should compress it and rename it. But like I said, I'm not going to for this. So that's just going to like flick through, which I think looks really nice. And I'm not loving this section and the images in this section right now. But I've just had an idea what might be kind of cute. In my head, I've like kind of thinking about a frame like this, or some sort of frame. And you know how I was talking about doing like the scalloped? Maybe we could do a graphic here that has scalloped, or like a oval frame. The oval frame might be a bit vintage, but the scalloped edges might be cute. So let's see what Canva has for us. So if we go to elements, frames, I don't know if scallop is like gonna be the right thing to search. We could also see what Squarespace actually just has in the shape section. I don't think they have any like scallopy edges though. Maybe just like a nice oval. I do like an oval. Could also stretch it so it's like exactly how we want it. And then potentially just remove this image. I'm not liking that. Let's go back to just rectangle. Maybe we could incorporate some of the sort of elements again, since we've only used this once. It actually might be nice to have like a sort of repeating, going back to that sort of collage style there. So if I go back to my inspiration board, the guest check is like super cute, like a little receipt or an envelope. What else could we have? We could just have this standard image here, and then we could have something in the corner maybe as the corner picture. Let's see what we can find on Canva. Maybe like a stamp, like a greetings. That's kind of cool, but like a beach one. Wonder if we can find like a beach stamp. Man, Canva really does have everything. Like I just searched up beach stamp and it came up with so many different options. I think these are a little bit too cartoony for me though. I'm looking for something that's like, I don't know, like a real stamp, not like a clip art stamp. So I don't think that's gonna work. Maybe we just do like another, we'll just do like a Polaroid or something. And then we could do like a little pin, maybe like this. Do we want a long one? Or maybe like this one here? And it could go sort of like over the corner of this image instead of this. I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. I'm going to grab an image. I actually did like the image that we were using there. It was kind of cool. I might make it black and white though, to again like tie in that black and white style. I'll put this over top of it to make it like have that nice rough look. And I'll make it a bit bigger just to fit in the frame. And maybe like a little paper clip on it. I'm not sure how this is going to look. I'm hoping that it's going to look okay. Maybe this isn't a good image to use. Maybe we need something a bit lighter. Okay, maybe a paper clip like this. Okay, how is that going to look on here? I could potentially just try and like design the whole thing as a graphic. So what I would do is I would create a new size and then just bring in that image, this image here. Okay, this is sort of what I'm going for. And then for the background color, we're using that like light yellow. So it would look something like this. I think that's okay. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to go back to using this one because I don't think we need to do the whole thing. I think I'm just going to leave this image straight edged and just as it is. And then I'll download this one. I'll do it as a PNG, compress the file, transparent background, current page, download. And then okay, so the Polaroid would go like sort of here. I could bring this up a bit. I think that's kind of cute. It's nothing mind-blowing, but, or maybe it could put it like that. That might even be nicer actually. Yeah, I quite like that. Sort of in the center. And I could potentially move this over. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, let's preview what we've got now. Still would be really nice to have like some actual logos in there probably. But other than that, I think I'm pretty happy with this actually. I think the stripes in the background really are doing a lot of the work. Happy with how this section turned out too, because it was definitely my least favorite before. We've got a nice testimonial carousel. We've got the upcoming events and the last sections I'm going to work on now. So I might change this to like the blue potentially, this section. Yeah, I could potentially also put in the stripes again. That could potentially be too much, but I might try it. So just bring a bit of texture to the section. And then also I'm going to update the arrows because I don't like how they are showing like that with the black background. So under colors, I'm going to go to the light 2 theme. And then I'm going to search for arrow and I'm going to change the arrow background to transparent. And I'm going to change the arrow color to brown. Yeah, we want to do brown on blue. I want to do this text brown too, I think. I think I like the brown on the blue. And then for this section, I also don't mind this in the brown, but it might look nicer. It might look nicer in the bright blue, or we haven't even used the bright yellow. We've only used like the light yellow. Oh, I don't know. And then what color are we going to do the footer? I was thinking about maybe doing the footer in the brown, and that could just like be brown everywhere. If we do the footer in the brown, then we could maybe do this in like well, we could just go back to the light yellow maybe, or a bright yellow. I don't know about these colors. I'm not sure about using the bright yellow. We've used the bright yellow in this text here, which I think looks good. And on the header. Maybe the footer should be bright yellow to match the header. And then this section can be brown, I guess. Maybe we could put an image in the background to like give it a bit of texture. It's a little bit too brown, I think. I really like the brown as like a feature color, like all this text is brown and stuff. And I think that looks really nice, but I don't know if I like it as like the full color. Maybe just going for the bright blue. I think it looks quite nice with that texture. We could add an image effect to it. So like a parallax or something like that. Maybe. Let's see what else. Let's see what other photos we can add. An umbrella? No. Some waves. I wonder if there's space for like a really dark blue. Maybe let me try that. I'm going to change this to dark 2. I do like the brown, but I just think I like it as an accent more than the actual background color. But I kind of want this to be, I don't know, let me just change the blue, like the main blue. I do also like the bright blue too though, so let's first just change this bright blue to something a bit darker and see if does that work better? No, I like the bright blue. I like the bright blue. Revert. Okay. Or we could potentially do like a black and white section down here. Or this one could be light yellow. This one could be light yellow. I don't like this bright yellow footer. Maybe we do go brown. I need to change this image Otherwise, nothing's ever going to look good. I'll remove this logo too. And we could potentially just type out, what are we called? We're called Luma Coast. Luma Coast. We can type that out. The brown. I'm not sold. Let me switch out these Instagram images. Again, that's going to help us. This is I'm just using a gallery block to simulate what maybe their Instagram would look like. I think I might need to download a few more photos too, because I've kind of used up all the photos, I think. So I'm going to download a few more. These ones will just be used for the Instagram, the fake Instagram feed. So I'm not being too picky with them. Okay, while I'm waiting for those to upload, I'm going to go a little bit overboard and create 4 little logos to put in this featured in area. I realize that this is totally overkill, but I just feel like I need to do this. So I'm going to create a new size in Canva, and let's go 500 by 300. They're going to be nice and small. And okay, we're doing wellness weekly. Is that how you spell weekly? Let's put a nice serif font for this one. Lovely. It kind of looks like Women's Weekly. It's not what I was going for, but okay, what else have we got? The slow living edit. Okay, we'll do this in a Arial. The slow living. This we could do in a serif or even a handwritten. This is so silly. It's something that's so silly to spend time on. I don't know. I just feel like it's going to make it feel more legit. I don't like these fonts. Let's just go for a script. Beautiful. Retreat culture. Okay. I feel like this could be yeah, that'll do. And coastal living guide. Okay, they look pretty bad, but you know what? That's what happens when you spend less than a minute on each of them. I'm going to make all the text white. I kind of want retreat culture to be retreat culture. I feel like it's going to fit with everything a bit better if I do it like this. Oh, I truly hate this one. Maybe I'll just coastal living. No guide. Oh, that looks kind of bougie. Okay, let's see what these look like. We'll do PNG, transparent PNGs, and just do these 4. Then we'll come back into here and let's add 4 images. I hope this looks good considering it. I mean, it only took me 5 minutes, let's be real, but it was not necessary at all. I'm just going to copy and paste this image 4 times, and I'm going to delete that one, upload the next one, delete this one. Upload the next one, delete this one, upload the next one. Okay, it's kind of cute. I could spread them out a bit. Yeah, you know what? I think it was worth it. I think it looks cute. This one's ugly, but whatever. I think that makes it feel more legit. Right, let's give it a refresh and see what else we need to finish up on here, because I am about ready to call it a day. Looking good, looking good. Looking good. It's all looking really good, actually. I'm actually really happy with it. Oh, I need to change some of the colors here. Oh, and we need to do this summer event lineup. So what I'm going to do is first I'll come down and I'll update the colors. So by colors, I just mean these little lines. So I'm going to go to colors, I'm going to go to light 2, and I'm just going to change this heading to brown. So those are all brown. And then for the lines, I'm going to change those on the page. So I'm just going to double click and I'm going to change the color of the line to, you guessed it, brown. Okay, I think that looks good. And then I will update this guide too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to Canva, and in our sort of main Canva folder, I should have a graphic here. So here's the workbook cover and the workbook. This is going to be a summer event lineup. So I do need to change the cover. And I also kind of want to lean into more of the aesthetic that we're going for this, which is maybe more of a notebook. So let's see what Canva's got. Let's look for a notebook, see what we can find. Or notepad. Yeah, maybe even more of a notepad. Obviously it's a digital download or whatever, but it might be kind of cute to have a sort of spiral bound graphic here. I'm not loving any of these, but I'm gonna change the background of this just to the light blue color, just so I can get a indication of how it's gonna look when I put it on there, how it's gonna look up against the background. I think that's kind of nice. I'm just gonna keep it really simple and go summer lineup. And yeah, I think that's kind of cute. Again, just trying to keep it really simple. going to make it as big as possible in here, and then I'm going to rotate it a little bit. Then I'm going to download it as a PNG. Cool. And I'm just going to upload it in that spot where that image was. And I think that's going to look pretty good there. Yeah, it's quite cute. And I think I'm vibing with the brown footer. I just want to change the colors. So I want to get rid of this yellow. I don't like the bright yellow on the brown. So let's go to colors. Let's go to darkest one. And then I'm going to change, I think it's a link color that I'm looking for. I'd probably quite like to change all of the text to the light yellow rather than white. I think that will look quite nice. We could also do a blue, like the light blue potentially, but I think this looks good. I think that softens the brown a little bit when you put the light yellow on it. We could potentially just change this to the custom blue. Yeah, I quite like the blue on the brown. Oh, actually I like the blue on the brown better. So I'm just gonna go back to the site styles and change all of that stuff that I just changed to yellow to blue. And social links, I'm gonna change them to blue also. Okay. I quite like that. Okay, I think we're almost done. I like this one because I feel like we did like really stick within the original template. Like we really didn't do anything extra, because I did one for this template recently where like we just went, being me, went like fully overboard and just like, it didn't like stray from the original template, but there was so many custom graphics in it that it was kind of crazy. But with this one, the only custom graphics we used were these, and they were really simple Canva graphics. And then we obviously put those stripes in the background. But I think everything was like, mostly everything is kind of just how the template was. There wasn't anything too crazy in here. So yeah, I think this is looking really good. I might just change this very bottom color to like black or something, or even just the yellow color is kind of nice. Okay, let's do like a final scroll through on the live site. I think that looks really good. I like the logos. This is good. I like this section with the little Polaroids. This section's quite simple now, but I also really like it. I think the background is really good. This section is good. Okay, this is it. This is the final site. I'm just going to take 5 minutes and quickly customize the mobile site, which should be pretty simple because we really don't have that much going on here. So I'm just going to go into the mobile view and just adjust slightly for how I want it to look on mobile. There's not a whole lot of adjusting we need to do. Luckily, Squarespace handles most of it. And because we're working from our template, most of it was set up. But anything we added, like these logos, we didn't end up using the template to put these in. I just kind of copy and pasted them in. So because of that, I'm having to sort of position them exactly how I want them. These aren't preset, but it only takes a second anyway, so it's not a big deal. It's always important to check your mobile and redesign for mobile anyway. Right, just gonna make this maybe a little bit bigger. I'm gonna adjust these slightly. This should be all set up, good to go. Yep, that looks great. This one, obviously, we changed a bit, so I'm just gonna move these a little just to make it look how I want it to look. That looks good. That's one set up. This one's all set up, and this one's all set up, and this one's all set up. Cool. Okay, and I'll just check the footer, make sure everything is looking good there, and that's it. Save. Let's refresh on the main site. Just make sure everything, do like another check. Another final check, and then we can also have a look at it for mobile. So let's just make it sort of mobile size, about there, and scroll through. I think that looks pretty good. This preview isn't always super accurate, but it is good because you can like do lots of different screen sizes, but it's best to just like look on your actual phone to get like a full representation of how things are looking. But overall, I'm really happy with how this went, especially because it only took like, I don't know, a couple hours. Not too bad, not too shabby. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. And if you're interested in this template at all, we'll link it down below. It's called the Nyx template, and it's one of our Squarespace templates. We've got quite a few different Squarespace templates, but all of them work the same, just like this. So if you did want to like customize it completely, just like I have done, then they all can be customized completely like this. So if you're interested, or if you have any questions, drop a comment below or flick us a message, and we'd love to chat with you about it. We can help you choose a template or figure out if a template is even going to be right for you. Otherwise, I hope you just enjoyed this video for the vibes, and maybe you were doing something productive while you were watching this. I quite often like to design while I'm watching other people design, so hopefully I can be that nice background noise for you. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and then I'll know and I'll make more of them. So I will hopefully see you in the next one.